Hey guys, so this is just a very casual look into a game that I personally think is very casual. This is Nintendo Switch 2, The Welcome Tour, or whatever the hell it was actually called. And yeah, this costs $10 to buy. And a lot of people were like, I'm not gonna get that. That should have just been free. That should have just been, I don't know. So I played it. I didn't go through any of the quizzes or anything like that, but you know, I got through each level, so to speak, and basically it does teach you a lot about the Nintendo Switch 2, which is kind of cool. It's a little virtual tour. You can kind of go inside the Switch 2. Like, there's a lot of detail put in the overall map, but then there's a lot of mini games and tech demos, so to speak. And it's kind of interesting because, like, it really does showcase how good the, I want to say the Rumble is. So, PlayStation 5 kind of had something similar. When PlayStation 5 came out, they were advertising their controllers because they're just like, oh yeah, we have this really cool Rumble feature where it actually feels like you're going through, like, a field of flowers. You know, there was a little Astrobot game kind of for it that allowed you to go into the PlayStation, but in a more fantasy-esque environment. This is something similar, but less of a fantasy and more of a theme park-esque attraction, which is fine, but Nintendo World was right over there. Come on, guys. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, overall, it was a kind of a neat experience. The maracas were kind of neat because it actually did feel like you had maracas with beads in them, or a rubber ball when you switched it over to a rubber ball. There was also a sawing kind of demo where you could saw a tree, and honestly, it felt like you were actually sawing a tree. So the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware does a really good job at emulating all of this stuff through the Rumble. There's even a thing where you can actually hear it up, you know, in your ear, and it sounds like coin sounds. But I can't really demonstrate that because I was recording off of the TV, and, well, yeah, you're not going to be able to hear the actual, like, controllers or nothing. I also tested out how good the microphone was on the Switch 2, which is actually pretty good, kind of unnervingly. Basically, if you talk in a somewhat normal voice, you know, somewhat projected, the Switch 2 could hear you from across the room. I had it echoing from literally across the room. As for the minigames, they're pretty good. Most of them are kind of demonstrating how the mouse feature works. Yes, the Switch Joy-Cons basically function as a mouse. Both of them. You can actually double mouse this thing, and it's kind of crazy. It's pretty good. The only problem is that the Joy-Cons are kind of smaller and it's kind of awkward to hold as a mouse. But other than that, it's really nice. It's really compact and it's impressive how well it works. But yeah, that's basically the tour. There's really not much else to go on. It's cool. I mean, like I said, a lot of the minigames are really nice. Some of them are just mouse-based minigames where you're dodging stuff. Some of them have you feeling a texture. That's kind of neat. Some of them kind of have you trying to figure out where the vibration is. And they're fun minigames. I'm not even going to, like, sit here and stress out try and say that, oh, you know, they're not really all that good. No, they're actually really fun minigames. I had some of my friends playing some, and frankly, we had a lot of fun with it. The exploring the Switch 2 and the accessories was really fun, honestly. It's kind of neat having your little character walk through random things like the inside of a Switch or the inside of the Joy-Cons or the microphone, but, you know, all big. It was kind of a nice little amusement park-esque feeling. But at the end of the day, is this worth $10? Because Astrobot was free with the console, right? And then this comes along and it's like, oh, you got to pay $10 to do this. And the answer is yes and no. I think enough work went into this for Nintendo to make a little bit of money back, and $10 isn't all that much. There's enough mini games to keep you, pretty dedicated if you have fun playing them. And there's, high score attacks. Some of the times that you have to get for a third medal is insane. But yeah, there's unlockables based on how many medals you have too. There's also quizzes to do. I did like one and I didn't do very well apparently. And yeah, you can explore the Switch. That's kind of fun. You can find lost items. That gets you nothing. I completed the lost item thing. There's a lost item in each area of the game, and I found all of them. Yeah, that's cute. There's also some mini games that you cannot do unless you have the accessory for it. So there's a couple of mini games that I just can't try because, oh hey, I don't have the camera. Camera's expensive. Oh, I don't have, a pro controller yet. My bad. And that's the problem that I have with it is that, yeah, basically there's a couple of things that you're nixed out of if you don't have some of the accessories. The only accessory that they showed off that you don't really need is the wheel. There's a wheel accessory and, that's neat. You get to explore kind of the inside, figure out how it works a little bit, but you don't need it to play any of these mini games, so that's cool. Yeah, $10. I don't know. It's kind of crazy because, like I said, a lot of work went into this, and it's cool to get tech demos. It's cool to get these little mini games. Hopefully, developers do play this game and are like, "Hey, we can come up with something really creative." Point and click adventures would be really fun with this. Like that's cool. Some first-person shooters, but with like mouse controls. That's neat. Compete with some of the. It probably won't compete with PC players because they all mod. But it's fun to think that there could be a return to the old mouse and all of that stuff. You can dual mouse this too, by the way. There was a little tech demo where they actually had used both Joy-Cons as mice, I guess that'd be the plural. But yeah, you could use both Joy-Cons in a mouse format, and there was a little puzzler game there. That looks fun. I don't know if anybody will use these features all that well, but it's cool. I mean, it is kind of nice to have the option of turning your controller into a mouse. Because a lot of PC gamers use mouse controls, and it's nice to kind of be able to bring them over, like, hey, they can come play the Switch too. There's mouse controls. Done. But all in all, the Welcome to Switch thing, I don't know. It's pretty skippable, but it's also pretty cheap too. I'd give it a soft recommendation. I can't give it a full review. There's no real story or anything like that. But I can give it, a soft recommendation. As for the Switch 2, and I do kind of want to talk about the Switch 2 a little bit in capacity too. It's really fun. I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart World on it, and I'm not going to lie, Mario Kart World is fantastic. A lot of people hate it, and I don't know why, but I think it's perfectly fine. If you are a casual Mario Kart player, if you're not like a freaking pro athletic Mario Kart enthusiast that has played hours upon hours of Mario Kart 8, then you should like the game. But if you are a pro Mario Kart 8 player, you probably aren't going to like it because it's completely different. And that's the thing. Mario Kart World does change up the formula quite a bit. And there's no real way to go back to the original formula. If you want to play, like, a versus race or anything like that, you have to basically do the long, drawn-out road instead of doing 3 laps around a track. Which is fine. Some tracks do have you do the traditional 3 laps, while others don't. And there's no way to make them 3-lap when it comes to actual multiplayer. And that kind of sucks. That really does. But does that make Mario Kart World bad overall? No, that's kind of dumb. It just means that the traditional 3-lap formula is just not going to be accessible. That's all it is. And it's possible it'll be accessible in the future. As for other games, I don't really know what, other games have worked pretty well on the Switch too. Animal Crossing doesn't stutter, and using the Joy-Cons, you can actually feel the fish grab the lures. And it makes fishing a lot easier because of it. That's really cool. The Joy-Cons work really well for that. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, I know a lot of people have had problems with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I never did, but it did kind of run at a slower frame rate, and that was okay. It didn't crash. I didn't have, like, as many bugs as other people did. It crashed once in a blue moon if we were playing multiplayer, but that'd be about it. I never had any problems outside of that. But playing it on the Switch 2 is like a whole nother experience. The Switch 2, more or less, it bumps up the frame rate to like 30 FPS to 60 FPS, I think. I'm not good with FPS knowledge by any means, but you can tell. Scarlet and Violet run incredibly fast on the Switch 2 compared to what it was. Like, battles are just like bam, 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 done. Instead of, you know, the more drawn out battles. Like, it's almost faster to just tap the A button and go through a battle than it is to run anymore, because the battles just happen so fast and animations are so snappy. And then there's like way more Pokemon in any given area, so shiny hunting is way better. If a Pokemon spawns, it usually spawns nearby when it's shiny, so it doesn't just disappear immediately. And yeah, it's a whole new game. So the Switch 2, even the older games, it does have its perks to play them on the Switch 2, and that's pretty cool. And I'm excited for some of the other games, but that's about it until the 17th, I think Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of Switch 2 exclusive content that you can get. You can get Cyberpunk, that's cool. Having Cyberpunk as a portable experience now is kind of neat. You know, there's some AAA games that are now out for the Switch 2 that weren't for the Switch. But if you're not, you know, if you're looking for like Nintendo content or anything like that, all you have access to is Mario Kart World and Welcome to the Switch 2. And I don't know, Mario Kart World, really fun, happily love it, can't get enough of it. Haven't unlocked all the characters, but I did unlock most of the costumes for the characters that you get right off the bat. And yeah, that's cool. But also, another thing with Mario Kart World, I've seen so many videos, they're just like, oh man, if you go to this one location, there's a chance that you could find this one blah blah blah. It's all randomly spawning though. Like they were talking about the sea monster, because there's like this big snake-like sea monster that you can kind of find in certain areas. And it's not certain areas, it just spawns in out of nowhere. Like, I had 2 of them at one point in time. That was cool. I was like, oh, neat. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is just randomly spawning. The only thing that doesn't randomly spawn are locations, which a lot of people haven't really seen all this game has to offer anyway, so oh well. But yeah, I mean, the game's fun. I do highly recommend getting Mario Kart World if you do get a Switch 2, because it is a really fun game. And I'm sure the other games are fun too, but they're on other consoles. If you're a gamer like me, even though I'm like casual, I kind of consider myself hardcore casual. And yeah, as a hardcore casual gamer, I have multiple consoles. I got some rarer consoles, but I have multiple consoles. And, you know, Cyberpunk's cool, but I can get that on any other console if I really wanted to do so. So, I don't know. The exclusive content on Switch 2 is mostly just Mario Kart World. And it's good, but it's kind of a slow drip until Donkey Kong Bonanza, so take that with a grain of salt. Other than that, though, my time with the Switch 2 has been kind of fun. I do think the Switch 2 is better than the Switch 1 in a lot of ways. I like having 2 ports on either side of the Switch, so if you put it in handheld mode, you don't have to have it on the bottom and have it awkwardly sit in your lap or whatever, you know. You can just plug it in to the top and bada bing bada boom. So if you're, you know, doing like a late night gaming session in the bed or something, you can just have it plugged in to the top and it charges, and that's really cool. I like that. But yeah, I like the Switch 2. I really do. I just think it's probably a good idea to wait until there's more games and content to it. But if you have the money, pick it up. It improves Switch 1 games. Like I said, Welcome Tour is kind of fun, although $10 is a bit steep. But like I said, I give it a soft recommendation nonetheless. And Mario Kart World is awesome. And honestly, Donkey Kong Bonanza looks like it's going to be good too. So this is my kind of preview of the Switch 2. Having fun with it. Thumbs up. Thanks everybody for watching. I've been so busy playing the Switch 2, I kind of forgot to actually do a video for this particular week. So this was last minute. This is just a casual talk of the Switch 2 and the this Welcome Switch tour. So, yep. Thanks everybody. Bye bye.